Verydarkman recently called out Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma for hosting only Imo indigenes of the Super Falcons after their WAFCON victory. He labeled the move tribalistic and accused Imo influencers of hypocrisy for not speaking up. He also tied in a separate issue Charlie Boy's name being removed from a bus stop as evidence of double standard. But let's unpack this with caution because while the sentiment might be loud, the context is being blurred. What happened in Abuja wasn't a national reception, it was a homecoming hosted at the Imo State Government Lodge, which, although not physically located in Imo, still represents the heart of the Imo people in the federal capital. This is a standard practice. It was the governor celebrating the daughters of the soil, not sidelining others. This is not exclusion, it is local pride. Every state celebrates its own. That is not bigotry, it is identity. It is part of what makes Nigeria federal structure beautiful, not broken. It's part of our diversity. And this is not new. In Akwa Ibom State, Ekon was celebrated by Governor Moino after AFCON. In Osun as well, Super Falcons captain and colleague met Governor Adeleke. But let's not forget, before this event happened, the entire Super Falcons team was already officially received and honored by the Nigerian president himself. The president hosted them at the villa and rewarded them handsomely. Now, in political culture, once the chairman of the occasion has made a grand gesture, it becomes an unwritten protocol for others to tone down their own gestures so it doesn't look like they are trying to outshine the top office. That's not just respect, it is political survival. And yes, it is straight out of the 48 laws of power. Never outshine the master. Even in fashion, let's see, when governor's wife accompany the first lady of the federation, they often dress down, minimal jewelry, basic makeup. It is all optics and rank. So trying to compare the two is like getting mad for not being invited to a family reunion. This type of commentary without depth stirs more heat than light. It may come off as advocacy, but it's a form of subtle incitement. If we apply this standard universally, then many state governors, past and present, are also guilty. So the real question is, does it make it right? In this case, yes, because it is local recognition, not national segregation. Sometimes, in trying to define inclusion, we end up inventing division. Nigeria is complex. We are a country of many tribes, one federation. When governors celebrate their own, it's not always tribalism, it is identity. It's a truth at a time. Take care and have a nice day. Verydarkman recently called out Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma for hosting only.
To me, I believe some people are mischievous, some people are ignorant of some things, and you know, if you either of what it is, whether it's a deliberate act to set people against each other, because from the very dark man's submission, irrespective of what it is, whether it's ignorant of that, because that is why if you feel that what he has said or what he believes or the statement he has put out there concerning Governor Hope Uzodinma, for people who are more knowledgeable, you come out and say, oh, this is it, and you give examples of things, and people begin to see it from a different angle. When VDM made this statement, some people are like, oh, this guy does not like Igbos. This guy, no, 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 no. Oh, you are not, your head is not correct. No, that is not how it is. If you have a superior argument, just like this lady has come out to be able to establish some things, if really is trying to be mischievous or is ignorant, he will be able to learn. So if at the end of the day, what has been put in place by this very beautiful lady, and if he does not see reason with that, oh, that means that you now begin to say, yes, he has an ulterior motive, like what has been said, which what this lady has said is not new to many people, but some people might not know, and you are going to excuse their ignorance. That one is certain, because this kind of a thing has been happening before now. It's not a big deal. And when you look at the comparison of the Charlie Boy's bus stop being renamed, is different from what Uzodinma did. Of course, we know that in this world, not even only in Nigeria, human being, for as many of you who are Christians who know this particular Bible verse, that even God himself regrets even creating human being. Human being are so complex. Even God himself said, oh, he regretted creating man. But that does not take the fact away that a man cannot change from his evil ways. So it's, it is embedded in human beings, to behave in an awkward manner. You see some people talk about tribalism in some countries, in some race, while some people tell you about oh, racism and all of that. It depends on how you try to define it. When you say evil, evil is all over the place. So that is another thing we really need to establish. So coming to this super falcon or whatever they call this whole thing, exactly how it has always been. After they have been appreciated nationally, people begin to like, okay, tone it down. Okay, who are the people from my side? Who are the people from not my side? It has always been happening. So if he does not understand, or maybe that was what he thought at that particular time, maybe he needs to be reminded, which of course he himself will agree to the fact that these things are being done. Okay, now some states are being mentioned of doing the same thing. So how can you just come and people who always come and say, oh, he does not like the Igbos and all of that, you cannot simply blame them. And that is why most of the time you try to explain some things, because some people too, they are so gullible that they just listen to one side of a story. They don't even look at other things, hear other people. Some people don't even need to look or listen to other people when some things are being said. They try to, you know think deeply. Some people are so gifted in that. They just try to, separate themselves from this sentiment here and there. They try to look at things from a different perspective, and they will not at the end of the day conclude their own thoughts. But some people, they don't have that grace, they don't have that knowledge. Oh, you are this, you are that, they give you, your head is not correct. Okay, you need to explain to the person, and that is why you see that argument continues to grow wider. But if you are a deep thinker, you look at it from a different perspective. Look at things holistically. If you don't look at things holistically, that you're just one-sided, or because you just want to, oh, I don't like this person, okay, let me just support him, or I like this person, let me support him, whether the what the person is saying is right or not. You just want to continue with that narrative. It's not really good. But when somebody is making mistake, irrespective of the mission or the notion of that person or the mindset of that person, you try to explain. You have a superior argument that is devoid of biasness or bias. And that is exactly what this lady has said. Try to equate the renaming of a bus stop or whatever, and this that Uzodima has done, they are two separate things. And when you look at Uzodima, all these ones, do they play tribalism? All these ones, the politics that they play, they are so selfish. They don't even know anything about tribalism. They don't even think about their own people. They think about themselves. If you talk about selfishness, most of these politicians, that is where they belong to, especially when it comes to this. There are some politicians that are tribalistic in nature. You cannot take that fact away. But this Uzodima that I'm looking at, all this one say they even prefer to even take it, to even send their own people just for their own selfish reasons, not because of anything. So that is just my own opinion. You can say, oh, this very dark man is this, is that, is this. But we have to look at things from holistically. That's the way I see it. Honestly speaking, look at things holistically. So, guys, I'll leave your comment down there below. Let's have your take, constructive comments. Thank you.